Drake, the story you tell on Quiet on Set is a couple decades in the making. I'm curious how you knew that this was the right time to talk about it.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, I've been approached before because even though I was a John Doe in this case, Hollywood's very small, and especially when you work on shows with people, you become sort of like a family, and people talk, and so I had been approached by another documentary years ago, and I just was not in a place where I wanted to talk about this or put it out into the world or anything, and so I expressed that, and the response was unbelievable. I mean, they wrote back to me saying that, because of people like you, there's going to be more children hurt in the industry, and it's, you need to speak out, otherwise this is going to continue. I was like, did you really just send that to me like that? I was just shocked. So when Emma reached out, I was very on guard. I was going, I know how this goes. I've been there. And so I was like, but I don't know what, because I was totally going to ignore it. But I don't know what was, if it was where I was at mentally at the time, and I was struggling a lot at that point in my life, and I don't know, I just started responding, and then I would go dark and ghost you for a while.
Quite a while, many times.
And then there was finally one point where you had asked me, look, let's just be off the record, like, can we just meet so I can kind of, you can put a face to these text messages, and maybe you'll feel comfortable, and you don't have to, you can tell me what you want to tell me about, or we can move forward with this, or we don't, or maybe I can just be an ear that can listen, or whatever. Because you could tell, I think she could tell that I was like, I don't want to do this. All right, so do you know about this part of the story? So I kept like going back and forth on that. And then Emma came out to LA, and I was, I don't know what you were looking at on the other side of that table, but I'm sure it was not a pretty picture. And it was the first time I've really spoken about this to a stranger. It's not my family or people I worked with who were close to me, who had supported me throughout the years. And I just kind of opened up and was like, this is what's going on, and this is a huge issue, and my biggest concern here is that, like Emma said, is you have two people working on the same show within the matter of months getting arrested for unspeakable and horrific things. I mean, if I was a reporter, I would be frothing at the mouth for that story and to illuminate it and put it everywhere. But I mean, there were years that I would go and Google and be like, I wonder who's written about this story, and it's just nowhere. You couldn't find anything on Brian. You couldn't find, there was more stuff about Jason and articles about that, but you couldn't find anything on Brian. There was like one Daily Mail article like 5 years ago. And I was so perplexed by that. And I'm like, this is the response that I feel should have happened so many years ago, is the reaction that, Emma and Mary and everybody from the documentary is having, is going, why? We have to tell the world about this, and this needs to change, because, like I said, I was like, Emma, he went on to work like no problem. He's executive producing movies with children in them. He's working on the Disney Channel. He's moving around. Right after he was arrested, he left to go work on a film in Arizona before he was sentenced, and went and worked on a film in Arizona like it was nothing, and then came back, got sentenced, and as soon as he got sentenced, he got a bunch of letters from people saying, you know, I would be more than happy to recommend him. I would be more than happy to attach my name to that recommendation. I would be more than happy to hire him to work around children. That's how comfortable I feel with him. And that, I think, was something that was a catalyst for this for me, because the entire time I've been moving through my life, I thought, okay, there's bad actors in Hollywood. Well, obviously there's bad actors in Hollywood. There's people in Hollywood you need to watch out for. But that's in karate practice, soccer practice. You go to your job, any institution, at school, there's people you got to watch out for. And that's what I thought. But then when she was able to tell me that she got the letters unsealed and that I would be able to read them, that's what really just hit me in my heart. Because the day that we went to his sentencing, I walked in and I was imagining it was going to be an empty courtroom. I'm a John Doe. They're going to keep this quiet. We're just going to get through this sentencing today, and it's okay, whatever. So I walk in with my mom, my stepdad, my brother, and his entire side of the courtroom was full of actors and producers and writers, and young and old and minors and young actors and peers of mine and people I'd grown up watching. And I was just blown away, but I didn't know the extent of the support until I saw the letters. And Emma was really sensitive with giving me the letters. I was like, just read them to me. Just read them to me on the phone. She's like, no, I need to deliver these to you in person and sit down and go through them with you, because
They did make me read some of them.
did I? Yeah. Well, what really hit me was there was one day I was in my backyard. You called me and you said, okay, I have the letters. Can I go through some of these names with you? And some of the names you were coming up with, I was like, yeah, okay, I know they wrote a letter. I didn't know what the letter contained, but I know that person wrote a letter. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. And then she started getting to names that I was going, whoa, wait, what? She goes, yeah, do you know this name and this name? And I just went, Emma, please tell me they didn't write letters. Please. This person was my favorite director that I worked with, like my favorite. I requested him on Drake and Josh, and this was written prior to working on Drake and Josh. And I'm going, wait, he wrote a letter, and this person who I ended up working with on Drake and Josh every day for 4 years and was basically like my boss that I had to answer to, like, she wrote a letter? And then it just started blowing my mind, and it showed me that there was way more to this than just these certain people you have to watch out for.
Right.
That it's like a whole group of it's a whole, everyone's connected and supporting and helping and rehiring, and so that's when it started to snowball into, all right, this story needs to get out, because this is a much bigger issue than I had ever